Hey, hi everyone. Very good morning. So today first we are going to talk about something called OID and then followed by the other topics. So as I was saying in the last class that TNS names is not the only way to connect to the database, and there are multiple other ways as well. And one such other way is using something called LDAP protocol. So LDAP stands for Lightweight Direct Access Protocol. So, and we are going to use that protocol, and we are going to keep our entries with respect to the database in a separate server or a separate database. So just to give you a glimpse of how this Oracle Internet Directory is going to work. So normally what happens, let's say there is a client machine, and let's say this client machine is being used by a developer who connects to multiple databases. Let's say for the same application, this developer is connecting to development database, then test database, prod fix database, then production database, etc. Similarly, let's say this developer is also working on some other applications as well. So he is connecting to multiple other databases as also. So now, as you know, in order to connect to all these databases, in this machine we need to install Oracle client and we need to configure tnsnames.ora file. And in that file, we need to have entries for each and every database. So we need to have an entry for dev database, we need to have entry for test database, etc., etc. So let's, the list will become big whenever this new database is added or something like that. Now the point is, suppose due to some reason, if this file is not available or file is corrupted or so, then it would be a problem for that particular developer to connect to the database. So Oracle has found out a solution for this in order to safeguard this. And one more thing also to understand, this is only I'm talking about one developer. So let's say in your company you have somewhere around 100 developers working on different applications and connecting to different databases daily. So having TNS entries in each and every developer machine, or I mean to say laptop or desktop, is a pretty difficult task. So for this reason, Oracle introduced something called Oracle Internet Directory. The concept is very simple. You are going to create a database in one server, and we call that as OID server. And in that, with the help of a utility called OIDCTL, we are going to create the TNS entries over here. And whatever the TNS entries for every database that we have in the environment. So let's say there are somewhere around 500 databases. So for all the 500 databases, the TNS entries will be uh, created in this particular OID server. And on the client machine, I mean to say the developer machine, we will be just installing Oracle client, and we don't require to create any TNS names and all. Directly with the help of LDAP protocol, the developer machine can be able to connect to the database. So how that happens, for example, so let's say developer wants to connect to prod database. So he would be using the command something like, for example, Scott slash tiger at the rate of prod. So when the moment it realizes that there is a connecting string called prod, this LDAP protocol will send this connection string details to the OID server. And in OID server, there will be already an entry with respect to prod. Then OID, so same thing, like the DNS entry will be there. So this OID server will give back the information to the developer machine that you need to connect to so and so host, and you need to use so and so port number, and your connecting, I mean your service name will be prod or something else, whatever. So mainly the host and port information will be sent by this OID server. Then accordingly, this developer machine will get connected to the database server. So point is simple. Instead of storing this in the local machine, you are storing this in a central directory or centralized location, and every developer machine will be connecting to that particular server always whenever they want to connect to the database. So this we call it as Oracle Internet Directory. So the advantage the advantage is, because the entries are in a centralized location, if you modify in the centralized location, automatically that will be cascaded to all the machines. So you don't require separately to modify in each and every developer's desktop or laptop. Now, how we are going to, okay, this one is fine, but from the developer machine, how we are going to tell to Oracle client that I want to use LDAP and I don't want to use DNS. So how that happens? That is with the help of a file called sqlnet.ora. So the location where you have installed Oracle client, the last time we have installed Oracle client, so let's go there. So in the location where you have installed Oracle client, and if you go to that network admin, you will see tnsnames.ora file, of course. And along with that, you will be finding one more file called sqlnet.ora. So the moment you open the file, there will be a line like this: names.directory underscore path equals to tns names, comma ez connect and all. So these are all the ways how to connect to the database. So TNS names we have seen already. Similarly, we have something called EZ Connect. Now we have LDAP also. So what you can do is you can just put down that LDAP in the beginning of this file and you can save this file. Then what happens is, whenever you try to connect to the database, first it will try the LDAP connection. If it doesn't work, then it will try TNS names connection. If this is also not working, it will try EZ Connect. And if this is also failing, finally Oracle is going to give you an error stating that it cannot establish the connection to the database. So these are, I mean, different ways. It will try one by one. First it will try LDAP, then TNS names, then EZ Connect. So if any of these three are working, then well and fine, or otherwise it is going to throw an error. Suppose in your environment you are not using EZ Connect, you are using only LDAP and TNS names. So you can you can just mention the thing like this, or if you are using only LDAP, then you can also mention something like this. So this sqlnet.ora file is the one which is going to decide which type of connection you are going to use. So that is about OID. So let's move on.
Pawan,
Yes.
one more question. Just one question. So you said, so when you issue a command, right? So it will go to the LDAP server where authentication will happen.
No, authentication will not happen. Only it will get the information of the host and the port. Hello. Hello. Can you people able to hear me now?
Now we can hear. So did okay. So did you get my question?
Sorry, like during that time only I lost it. Yeah,
Okay.
repeat it,
Yeah.
please.
My question is that so you said that you talked about LDAP server, right?
Yeah.
So the authentication will happen where LDAP server. So suppose like you type this command Scott Tiger at prod.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So generally what happens, it used to look in our TNS names, right? To which server it should connect and all that information will be there in the tnsnames.ora.
Exactly.
Now it is not using that file, correct?
Yeah.
So then how the connection happens then? How
So
will it
same
how
thing.
it will
Like
know?
that is what. So instead of looking at the local machine, now it is going to look at for the same information, like to which host I need to connect and what is the port number I need to use. So for that, to pick that information only, it will come down to this OID server or LDAP server, and from here it will just take that information. What is the host name? What is the port number? And what is the service name, etc. Then by taking that information, it will come to that particular database. So let's say it said that the host name is something like machine 1 and port number is 1525 and the service name is, let's say, prod db or prod. So by taking this information, it will come down to that machine 1 server, and it will use that one while connecting, it will use that 1525 protocol. And from there, listener will accept the connection. It will pass on to pmon will do the authentication, so that process remains same. Only to get the details of to which host and to which port number I need to connect, it will make use of this LDAP server.
So where do we store this LDAP server information? How do we configure that, right? How
Yeah,
will it come to know that?
there is a separate steps required for configuring this. So
Okay,
probably at later point of time, because
okay,
that's not included in our course, but
yeah,
maybe if we
yeah.
get some time, I will definitely show you that.
Okay, got it. Got it.
So anyone others having any questions?
OID server is nothing but the LDAP server. Both are same or they're both are different here?
Both are same.
Oh,
Okay, so let's move on to the next one, that is password file. So till now we haven't discussed about this in the architecture. So basically password file is, by looking at the name you can understand it is going to store something which respect to the, with related to the password. So yes, it is going to store the password of the sys user in this particular file, and as SP file, this is also in binary format, so you cannot open and read the content from VA editor. So what basically is this password file for? Because we know that when we are logging to the server directly, then as a sys user, it is not asking us any password. Already we have seen that. Then why it is going to why we require this password file here. So let me show you that. Okay, so if you are directly connecting to the server, so assume this is the database server. So if you are directly logging into this server through Putty or some other tool, so it will ask you for the username and password. So you will be entering that, and after that you are just saying SQL plus slash SSDBA, and then you are connecting to the database directly without any password. So we discussed about what is the reason for that and all. Now let's say I am having some other machine. So let's say I'm having a desktop. So through my desktop, I just want to establish a sys user connection to this database. So obviously the flow is same. So we need to have Oracle client installed on this, and we need to have an entry. If we are using DNS names, then we need to have an entry of that database in our machine in TNS names or in either in LDAP, whatever. Then we will be able to connect it. But because we are connecting from a remote machine, that too as a sysdba, so we'll say SQL plus sys as sysdba. So definitely it should ask for the password, because here when you are logging in directly on the server, we discussed the points how secure the authentication could be. Like we discussed about the uh, RSA secure IDs, how it will be implemented and safeguarded. But when you are establishing connection from remote machine, definitely it should ask you for the password of sys user. And when you enter that password of sys user, whatever, so that password should match with the password what it is there in the password file. So here on the database server, just like your P file or SP file, we will be having a password file as well. So, and it contains the sys password. So whenever somebody is trying to connect from a remote machine as sys user, and when it will prompt you for the password, and whatever the password that you have entered should match with the password what is there in the password file. So basically this is for authentication. So if the password is matching, then only it will allow you to connect. If not, it is not going to say that invalid username or password. So those things will be there. So especially for remote connectivity, this password file is in place. And apart from that, it doesn't have any much significance. And moreover, as a DBA, connecting from a remote machine as a sysDBA is a rare task. So we will not be doing this very frequently. So that's the reason even almost 90% we will be directly logging into the database server only. So again, connecting from a remote machine is a very rare case that we do. But in case if we are connecting, then we require this password file authentication. So that is what simply to say about this password file. And at any moment of time, if you forgot the password of a sys user, always Oracle allows you to recreate the password file with the help of this. Now there are two things. One is you can also change the password of sys user with the help of alter user command. So alter username, just like how you will change the password of other users, you can change the sys user password also in the same way. So either you run that alter user command or you change the password with the help of this command or a PWD. In both the cases, the password will be updated in, if you can run any one command and it will be updated automatically in the second one. Let's say you change the password of sys user using alter user command, then automatically your password file will get updated with the new password. Or if you change the password here, then automatically your dictionary information will get updated with the new password. So that synchronization will happen automatically. And also password file will be used in data guard environment. So we will see that how that will happen and all. And not that simply you need to have a password file. If somebody is trying to connect remotely, uh, obviously that password requirement should be there. So to make sure that, we need to have this parameter set to exclusive. By default it is exclusive only. So we have a parameter called remote login password which is set to exclusive. Then it is going to ask for the password. Suppose that parameter remote file authentication is mentioned as none. If it is mentioned as none, then even when you are connecting as a sysDBA from remote machine, it won't ask you for the password. Directly it will allow you to connect. So which is dangerous. Why? Because even a developer can also connect in that case. If it is not asking for the password, and let's say the developer is having a DBA knowledge, then automatically that developer also will connect to the database because it is not asking any password. So that's the reason we always need to make sure that this parameter should be set to exclusive. And the password file also will be located in the same place as your P file or SP file, that is Oracle underscore home slash DBS location. And the format or the naming convention will be Aura PW then SID. That is your instance name. So that is about the password file. Just give me a moment. I'm trying to bring up the server so that I can show you this password file thing. Okay, so I have created one new database in another server. Okay, so this is the server what I have. The server IP address is 192.168.153.128. So in this I have created the similar database what we are using with the name ProdDB. So let me just have a TNS entry of this in my local machine, that is in tnsnames.ora. And for that, let me check for the listener. Okay, so listener is not there. Let me create one. Okay, so listener is ready. Now in this TNS names file, I'm going to create one more entry by the name prod.db, and which is pointing to this IP address. So port number remains same and even the service name as well. Now let me try TNSP if it is working or not. Yes, it is connecting to the correct host name and the correct port number as well. So now from this command prompt, if I try to connect as sysdba, so I should say SQL plus sys at the rate of that connecting string name, that is prod.db as sysdba. Then it will ask me for the password, and if I give some wrong password, obviously it will give me an error. So of course here the thing is different, because in listener we need to put a static entry. So let me open the listener. So whatever we did in the last class is the same. Okay. So I'm giving a different password. Now you can see it is saying invalid username or password, and now I'm giving correct password, and you can see I'm able to connect to the database. So when I have provided the password here, then Oracle will go to that password file which is there on the server, and it will do the authentication. So as I said, password file will also be there in the same location as your SP file, that is Oracle home/dbs location. So this is your password file. So as I said, this is a binary file, so you will not be able to see the content. Suppose you are going to change the password. So let's say I'm changing the password by connecting to the database, and I'm using this command alter user sys identified by some password. So then automatically this new password will get updated in this password file. Similarly, if you change the password using this aura pwd command, so the command syntax will be like this, and because already the password file is there, to overwrite it you need to use force equals to y. So now I have changed the password thing. Of course it is saying that complexity and all should be there, but if at all it gets changed, automatically this new password will get updated in this data dictionary also. So either way it will work. So that's about the password file. Mainly it will be useful only when you are connecting as a sys user from a remote machine. So anyone having questions? Okay. So let's move on to the next concept, that is distributed database management. So if you take a particular environment, it may not be the case that you have only Oracle databases. Sometimes it might be possible that you will be having some other RDBMS as well, like SQL Server from Microsoft, or DB2 database from IBM, or we have MySQL database again from Oracle, Teradata, Sybase, etc., etc. And there will be a need that one database need to talk to another database. So if you have any such thing that one database need to talk to another database, then we need to link up those databases, and we call that as a distributed database management, like what you are seeing in the diagram. So what is the purpose of doing that? Just to have the data pull up. Let's say you have some data you stored in SQL Server database, and you require that data to pull up from Oracle database in order to generate some report, or in order to achieve something. So maybe that's the business logic. So in such case, you need to make this SQL Server database and Oracle database to talk to each other, and or even it can be between two Oracle databases as well. So in such cases, you require this distributed database management. So just to give a small example, how it could be, or in our real life, how that is happening. So let's say you are using, let's say, take an example. You are using an Airtel, network. Your mobile operator is Airtel, and assuming you are using a postpaid connection. So nowadays, Paytm is quite famous in order to do the payments like this, like mobile bills, electricity, and all. So let's say you are using Paytm in order to pay your Airtel postpaid bill, and the money in the Paytm, you are loading it from the ICICI account, from your ICICI account. So now let's say you initiated the transaction. So when you open the Paytm, basically it will ask you the mobile number first, and earlier it used to ask for the mobile operator, but nowadays it is checking automatically, and even it will display you the bill amount. So what is, let's say, 350 is the bill amount. So it will show you that this is the bill amount that you need to pay for so and so mobile number. So now the point is, how Paytm knows that 350 is the mobile bill amount. So it means definitely Paytm is connecting to the Airtel database, and it is pulling the information that what is the mobile bill of this particular customer. So that means this Paytm database is in turn, or Paytm application is in turn talking to the Airtel database to pull what is the bill amount. Then after that, let's say you clicked on pay, then it found that your Paytm balance is very low, and it asked you to load the balance from your bank account. So then it will redirect you to the bank account website. So you go there, then you load your Paytm account with some amount, then come back, then automatically the new balance will be showed up, and then the payment will be done. So once the payment will be done, or payment is done, immediately this amount whatever you have paid will be credited to Airtel, and now your mobile bill will show balance of 0 rupees. So here you can see each database is owned by different companies, and also each database can be of different RDBMS as well. So maybe Paytm is using Oracle database, Airtel is using some other database, or ICICI is using some other database. But they are still interacting with each other. That is point number one. So that is possible through this distributed database management. And point number two, if anywhere the transaction is failed, let's say while paying the mobile bill of 350 rupees, let's due to some reason the transaction failed, then what happens? Immediately, whatever the 350 rupees that were added to the Airtel account, that will be again rolled back. So if the transaction fails, whatever the amount is being credited to your postpaid account, it will be rolled back, and again your mobile bill will get updated with 350 instead of 0. Means only if the transaction is successful, the data will get updated in both the places, in Paytm as well as here in Airtel. So this we call it as two-phase commit mechanism. So whenever you initiate a transaction which involves two different databases, then commit should happen in both the places. So here also commit should happen, and here also commit should happen for that same transaction. Then only we can say the transaction is successful. And because two places commit is happening, or two or more places commit is happening, we call this as two-phase commit mechanism. So that is what here the points are talking about. And usually when you have this distributed database management, many a times you will be seeing this error or R3136, which the error message will be inbound connection timed out. So because the interaction should happen between these two databases, sometimes there could be a network issue, or sometimes there could be a problem from the Airtel database side, or from sometimes the problem could be from the Paytm database side. So there will be lot of reasons why this error will occur. So I have an article in my blog which talks about what are different types of reasons that will be there for this error, and what are the solutions that we need to go through. So in case if in future you got this error, then you can refer to this particular article. So coming back to the point here, as I said, Paytm will show you the balance amount, how much you need to pay, which it will pull from the Airtel database. So how this happens is through an object called database link. If both are with Oracle, then it happens through an object called database link. So basically, database link is nothing but an object which will allow you to pull the data from one database to another database. So just like here, to show you the balance in the Paytm of what is your postpaid bill, so it will connect to Airtel database, or that particular table where Airtel is maintaining that postpaid mobile balance, and it will search for your mobile number, and it will display the amount whatever you need to pay. So this happens through the help of database link. So we have some process in order to go ahead and create a database link. So we require two databases mainly, and then we can establish the of course there should be a connectivity between both the databases, network connectivity. Then we can create a database link. So just give me a moment and let me see. Okay, so actually I don't have a other database right now ready. So probably we can just have a look at tomorrow. Because creating the database again now will take some time. So we will continue tomorrow then. So anyone having any questions? Okay, so then let's meet tomorrow at the same time and we'll continue. So thanks everyone for joining.